what will happen if we do less and to trust more and to dive deeper into that like intuition? We would just co-create more with life.
When you have that strong feeling of going inwards, do it. But don't give up that yang side of going out and being seen.
We have this life to enjoy. I think that's what's missing from this whole planet.
Do we know how to enjoy?
Good question.
This is Jessie's diary.
Welkom bij weer een nieuwe aflevering van The Feminine Way. Ik heb vandaag een hele bijzondere vrouw. Haar naam is Sapphire. And we're gonna do it in English. My first podcast in English. So I'm super excited and a bit, not nervous. But well, we're gonna just roll with it. But before we're gonna start, I wrote a little text to tell you. Today, I'm thrilled to have Sapphire Leena as my guest. I first met Sapphire at a recent retreat where I was a participant, the incredible retreat led by Simone Rijer. If you listen to my latest podcast episode, you will know that this retreat brought up some profound shifts for me. Sapphire played a significant role in these transformations. She guided an extraordinary breathwork session that allowed me to experience sensations I've never had before. Gosh, I'm still recovering from that one. Her presence during that sessions and the way she held space left a deep impression on me. What truly stands out about Sapphire is how she embodies a perfect balance between the spiritual and the material worlds. She's both elevated and grounded, a rare combination these days. I'm so excited about this conversation because I want to learn more about everything you're doing, and I want to explore with you how you embraced it all and also how you live this in your personal life.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, well,
I feel flustered and thrilled about this, and I love to be here. And I'm very happy that we can do this in English, and that I can share as much as I know up until now. Where would you like to begin? Because there are quite a few questions there.
True. No, my first question is actually, what does it mean to you being a woman?
The first word that comes to mind is just like emotion. Any sort of emotion and any sort of feeling, and the capacity that we have to live those feelings, to live those deep embodied emotions of so many colors. Because I think we have this tremendous capacity to go from one to the other in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And I think that we are like the embodied representation of all that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, yes. And especially if you are a sensitive woman, which I think we mostly are. And the closer we are to our femininity, I think that the closer we are to the emotions.
You know what, I said it in this text also, as well, but what I really experience with you is that you can also hold a space very well. And I can sense that like women who are very into their feminine and don't have like a really strong masculine, I feel like I have to hold myself more. And with you, it was just like, you were so there. And that was so, it really impacted me in some way. Does that, like, if I explain this to you, are there things popping up like, oh yeah, that's where it's coming from, or I know what you mean, or...
So I have been told this many times, that I sort of represent the softness and the power together. And I think that I've had to be very strong with myself to overcome many hurdles in my life. And I've always had that, just that mentality of conquering and going forwards. I can just see like a bulldozer, you know, like a big truck, that no matter what's in front, I will just go for it. And I think that I've always been my biggest student. So if I was able to hold myself in the worst moments of my life and keep on going, I think that that's where I've developed that it's almost a bit military. Some people have even said, like, wow, when you hold space, it's like this military, like on a mission, but then you carry that almost the mothering softness. This is the feedback that I get. I think that power and that strength led me to a certain place, but then I was really missing and needing the softness. So is that like a reflection? Am I just reflecting my inner world to how I hold the space, perhaps? Maybe it's that.
And how did you get the feminine? Because I think a lot of women rule on their masculine, and it's just a way to survive, and they know that very well. Especially when I look at myself, like I can totally feel into that as well. But it's, how did you cultivate that feminine part of yourself to really embrace her as well?
Yeah, that's a really good question. How did I cultivate it? I think I've always been very close to my feminine. I had a very feminine grandmother, and I think that she's just here with me. I just feel like her presence, and there's just everything about the feminine is attracted to me, you know. So I'm attracted to that. I mean, so how did I cultivate it? I think it's just being drawn to it, and I don't try. And I believe that the feminine, you don't have to do anything. It's embodying it. It's also learning to receive. It's learning to sit back and feel, which is not putting mascara on and lipstick and the mask of the outside. It's actually very different. The feminine does carry many other deep emotions. So I think it's the combination between the attraction towards the feminine, and I just feel very in touch with it, and then being so I've always been very, very, very brave to go into the feelings.
That's it, I think.
And it's like, as I'm speaking, the questions are being also answered.
Yeah, because that's the part, especially because your masculine is so well trained as well. Mostly you see that it's hard to get into the feminine, but probably because you can feel so well, you master the two of them, which is beautiful. You can really sense that.
Because I do definitely have a lot of the masculine in me. Sometimes it's like, Saf, slow down. I'm always in the going and doing and doing and doing and never really stopping. But my lesson specifically in the last year and a half has been to drop back, surrender, and trust, which is a big part of the feminine.
Yes. And how do you manage that in your day-to-day life?
It's literally having to make myself do it, unfortunately. I'm still not at the point where I can just, it's time to have a cup of tea and unwind. No. Sometimes I'm really like, okay, I have not stopped and it's 3 p.m. and I'm still on the ball. I'm just going to slow down. And it can literally mean sitting in the sun, closing my eyes and taking 3 breaths and just cherishing the moment. Also spend a lot of time with horses, and horses chill me out. Horses really bring me to my calmest state. And the more time I spend with them, the more I realize how that's, for me, it's that therapeutical essence. But again, it's very physical.
Yeah.
So it's constantly finding that balance. I am a Libra also, so I'm always in the search for balance. Always. If it's not one, it's the other. And then there's always that voice in the back of my head is, am I being too lazy if I sit back and unwind? But even as we spoke before about hormones, our hormones speak to us if we don't drop into the feminine. Our periods will stop, literally. So the whole flow of femininity will actually stop. So I would just love for the whole of femininity or women in general to drop into feminine essence a little bit more. I would love to see that.
But it's difficult sometimes, or that's like the process I'm in now. Like for me, after the retreat, it was like a wake-up call that I felt like, okay, Jess, you've been building and building and building, and there's like something really beautiful out there, and you have it sorted out. And I really enjoyed like doing all of that. Like I had the time of my life, but now life like really soft is trying to call me a bit back and into like this new world, which is way more about like, it feels to me like a whole other world.
And yet, I strongly believe that in this whole new world, in this whole new being of softening and quietening, so much can happen there.
You know, and that's the whole thing I'm feeling too. Like my mind is saying, because I'm really trying to work 2 times a week, or two days a week. And that's because I feel like if I go into that stillness and I really create that space, and I have no clue what I'm going to do there, but if I could create that space for myself, so much more can happen. But my mind is like, Jessie.
And that in itself is the feminine.
Yeah.
Just that.
The not knowing. Because I've never been so uncertain in my life about a lot of things.
And yet, were you sure that you knew back then? You thought you knew, but life is so unpredictable.
It's just a vision. I was always like, okay, it was just so clear to me. And I took every step and it worked and it happened. And now I'm in this whole new phase of my life. I'm like, I feel like I need to be in solitude and just like really escape from the world and not see so many people and not work. I don't know why, but it's calling me. That's like where I'm at now.
And I think that your soul is also calling you, and the essence that you were born with is calling you, which doesn't need anything external.
No,
it's just that connection to self.
Did you have a time of your life that you experienced something like this?
Oh yes.
Tell me.
So I was as a child and as a teenager, I was always really social. I was very like in the popular group per se, no? So we always were out and we were very just alive, no? And I had my school friends, and then I also was part of a synchronized swimming team. So I had 2 very active social life groups within me. And then at the same time, I was highly sensitive throughout this all. And as my teenage years started to happen and the masks sort of started to fall, my demons started to come out, and specifically in the form of an eating disorder. So I had bulimia, which initially was a big taboo. Nobody of my friends, my family, nobody knew. So I was swallowing that, and I was just keeping that inside of me for a really long time. So my journey began really early. I stopped the competition swimming, and for me it was like a cold turkey. Suddenly everything that I devoted my life to become the best version of this swimmer, who I did everything, the solo, the duo, everyone was sort of depending on me and the team. I got really poisoned by food on the day of the competition. I couldn't compete, and that's where my whole sort of competing career collapsed. And then there's this void. And that's where controlling the food started to come in. Because I didn't have the control of having to play this role anymore. Yeah. So I had to control my life in the form of eating. What was I eating? What was I not eating? Had I eaten? Then is there the whole process of throwing up after eating? What is inside of you? What is not? So that went on for several years. And at the beginning, I thought, nah, this is not a problem. This is just a really easy way out of losing weight. I'm not swimming so much anymore, so I'm just going to lose weight. And everyone was commenting, oh, you look so thin, da-da-da. Oh. So my path inward, I think, probably started at the age of like 16, 17, where I really started to, not only on a physical level, start to feel really bad because I was depleting my system in so many ways, and depression started to kick in. Then I moved to university. So the whole persona of me being the swimmer and the social light sort of person that I was vanished. So I think that it all started when I left university, because I was so lonely and so lost and in such a dark place that I actually had to go inside. I really had to go inwards. And then as sort of the years went by, I did find myself going in and in and in a little bit more, having to give up relationships because I had this really strong calling to be quiet and go inside, which is probably where it sort of catapulted me forward in my spiritual evolution and the knowledge that I had and the wisdom that I had towards myself and life itself in that sort of spiritual lens. But in hindsight now, taking the leaps forward, I realized that maybe I took that a little bit too seriously. I took the going inwards and being quiet and isolating myself way too seriously. So if there's any little piece of advice that I could give you when you have that strong feeling of going inwards, do it. But don't give up the other part of life. Don't give up that yang side of going out and being seen, and because it's not worth it. Yeah, you can learn a lot, but it's almost as if you're molding yourself into constant suffering. And I did that. I definitely was like this self-sabotage of, no, you need to suffer now. You need to really... So I think that as long as that going inwards and spending that calm time with yourself is coming from a healthy perspective, then I would say go for it. And don't feel guilty for it either. I think that you are in this transition, and there is a process of a lot of feeling and a lot of learning and a lot of just getting to know yourself from a different perspective, perhaps. But keep it in a healthy way.
Yeah,
That's
for
the
me
only
it feels more about... It's a part of like stillness, but also really enjoying more... Yeah, I feel like I'm...
The healthy feminine, perhaps?
Yeah, just like really like giving myself the permission to really enjoy my life without I have to do anything.
That's so beautiful.
For it. Because before you I had like a conversation with my mom, and I'm seeing a lot of like similarity in us. And it's almost like we have to do this and this and this, and then we're gonna enjoy. And I'm seeing that a lot in women, that or we need to do something that it's like...
Trying to prove.
Productive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, then I'm thinking, like yesterday I had some quiet time and I was like, okay, yeah, then I'm gonna go to Just Bibi, have a coffee, and I'm gonna write in Savier's book. I'm like, do I really enjoy that? No, but then I'm productive because I need to fix that. So like my mind is always searching for more like productive ways. Yeah. And that's so interesting. It's like, why? Because we have this life to enjoy. And I think that's what's missing from this whole planet.
Is the question that arises for me is that, do we know how to enjoy?
Yeah, good question.
I often wonder that. And I often wonder because from a very sort of young, in my early 20s, when everyone was going out and having like partying and drinking and drugging, I would be like, and this was specifically a phase in my life that I was living in the mountains in Canada, and I would be walking up and down the hills in the middle of the night doing EFT, emotional freedom technique, and studying about myself and journaling. That was what I felt like was my enjoyment at the time. And for some people it may be going and listening to the best DJ in the world one night. For me that's like, oh gosh, there's so much on my nervous system. I much prefer to go and lie in a field and look at horses and have a giggle with a friend, you know? Yeah. So it's really, I think it also depends on where you are in life and what you do and where your background is. And I think we just lost touch with what is true joy. What do we really enjoy and how do we do that? Yeah. But is that the main search? I think that what's happening inside of you right now is you're just blooming awareness. If you looked back a year ago, do you think you would have stopped to think, oh, do I enjoy writing in his book? the fact that you're stopping and you're thinking and that you're analyzing it, I think that you're opening up this incredible door of awareness to life.
Yeah.
And I think that softness comes with awareness.
True.
Just by being aware involves being still for a moment to become aware of.
Yeah, and that's maybe enough. You don't need to like put yourself in a cave somewhere to live that.
Which, putting yourself in a cave at the same time is fabulous. Sometimes we need that.
Yeah.
But you're a mum, right, Jess?
Yes.
So I think that it's essential for you to also go into a cave sometimes and just be quiet. I don't know because I'm not a mother yet.
Yeah.
But something that I can share is I was in a ceremony with my mother last year, and we used some substances, and we had 2 facilitators or therapists with us at the time. And I was shown, so the medicine took me right to the moment where I was born through my mum. And then the medicine showed me how much I desperately needed my mum to slow down. And it just showed me in that moment.
Wow, that's so beautiful. What did it show? What did you see?
So in the moment, I remember I was curled up in a little ball, literally in my mum's arms. I was crying. This is happening during the ceremony. Mommy, mommy, mommy. I kept saying, mommy, 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 mommy. She was like, yes, what can I do? I'm here for you. Like in a very caring, loving way. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. So I come from a childhood where my mum never stopped. Never. And we pick up on that as children. Yeah. We pick up on that as especially sensitive little kids. So if mummy's never stopping and is always on the ball, no wonder my tendency is to do that as well.
Yeah, true.
But what did that pure, innocent little girl need to just literally lie on the sofa and be cuddled and maybe have some piano music on and just be? So I think that, in a way, I think that as humans, I think we're lacking the knowledge of being.
Yeah, which is the feminine. Yeah. So interesting, right?
There's so many layers to it.
True.
Because then we can also open up the layer of what about the feminine rage?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Does that involve stillness? Does that involve any kind of calm?
Yeah, because that's the picture we're showing of the feminine. Like this lady who's like in the fields, like...
Exactly.
But that's also like just a story, and that's what you're seeing sometimes with the whole like threadwise movement. It's like, okay, women, they're just cooking and they're just having only slow life. I'm like, no, we're missing something here. It's not, women is so much more than only just that.
If we have the capacity to give birth, and to have that power to birth someone through ourselves, then I think that comes with a tremendous amount of willpower and strong strength to do that.
True.
So I think that we shouldn't ever forget the many aspects of the feminine.
What do you think about rage? What's your...
I have trouble with rage, to be honest. And everyone always sort of thinks that I'm this very calm, very chilled, which generally I am. But why? Because I learned from a very young age to disassociate when something was uncomfortable, when I was really mad at something. I never knew how to find my voice and express it. So what would I do? Boom, fly away and just be in the clouds. And it's not until very recently that I've really, really become close to that. And as I was mentioning to you before, when you asked me how my holidays and Christmas was, and I said, well, I went through these many sort of moments with life and self and love and all of that. And you can actually even see here, I had a little moment during a breath work when I was so angry, I started to just like punch my pillows next to me. And this rage was finally coming through. I finally allowed myself to just feel it. And then obviously I came out of it and my hand was like cracked with a bit of blood. I thought, oh gosh, this is like really, this is really almost like, oh. So what is my relationship to rage? It's up and down, to say the least. And yet I'm eager and I'm hungry to discover more of what's actually underneath the rage.
Yeah, because I think we're so programmed in a way to be like this good girl who listens and to like, that's in the whole collective. There's like this, I always sense with myself when I'm like really angry that I feel so much like rage, but I don't know what to do without it, I don't know what to do with it, that I'm start to cry.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't know how to deal with it.
Because generally rage, anger and all of that ultimately is covering pain. But is your nervous system
but I would
responding?
love to just be really angry. But I think as women, most of the women, they have like this thing in their mind like, no, but that's too much.
Then we would be crazy.
Yeah.
If we express our anger, they would think we were nuts. Or that's maybe we should create a rage retreat. Get as many.
I think we need it weekly. We could just stand here in the field.
And there are many therapies that do encourage rage, but I think that it's very important to approach rage in a healthy way, because then if not, you can also trigger many other things. But if it's held in a very safe place. Something that I've also started recently is I'm boxing. Wow. If only I would have discovered that a while ago.
Oh, really?
It feels so good. So good to just... and then you have that possibility. It comes up and in a healthy way, then you feel great for the rest of the day. So maybe find ways to express it. But allow it too. Don't run away from it.
Yeah, I remember I did 3 boxing fights 4 or 5 years ago, and the girl was like teaching me. She was like hitting me in my stomach and saying like, you need to hit me harder back. And every time I hit her, I said sorry. It was just so in my, like, she was just punching me so hard. And all I could do was like punch her, like, sorry. And she was like, every time you say sorry, I'm going to punch you even harder. And it took me really a while to get that out of my system.
You see how that's engraved in us?
It's so crazy.
On a subconscious level. Oh, it makes me almost like, wow, why? Why are we not... But I think because generally we just don't know how.
We don't know how. And that's so important with this whole journey. And I really, really want to make more space for that too. To also share that. Because I think without that, it's so not complete. It's just like a little, like, theater we're playing, you know? And
it's not the truth.
It's not the truth. No. And also with men, like, because... I've been like searching for a while now in this whole topic. Like it's getting a thing now, but before it was a thing, I was like really into it. And now it's funny how like the whole collective is like pumping up, you know, or it's like everybody's speaking about it. But I feel like with the thread wives, it feels like we're going back in time where it's about, oh, women are so good in taking care of the house and like cooking and taking care of the children. But I do also really miss a really big part of our like intuition, our spiritual knowledge. We're actually the guides in the relationship. Like I believe that men are like leaders.
If we tell them what to do.
Kinda. No, yeah. Not say like you should do this like you're his mom, but to really work as a team, because I think we know really the direction, but on a deeper level than the things on the surface that I can take care of. And I can tell my own relationship, he's really all about that. Like he loves to take care of all those things at the surface. And I'm like, I just want to dive deep and have a conversation with women, like how I'm gonna like embody this and blah, blah, blah. That's more my field, you know? Yeah. But we're just skipping this whole part.
I think that I think it comes from fear. I think that we really are just afraid to express our full spectrum of femininity because the witches were burnt way back then.
Yep.
We were told to be quiet.
Yeah.
That's why we were locked at home.
Yeah.
But if we go even further before that, I think that we would definitely see how, we used to like, I hope that we used to sit around fires all together, the girls, like, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that there's an incredible amount of fear in our systems still from what they did, like took away from us, or what they didn't allow us to express. So I think that we're now reclaiming our power in a way. But how do we keep that healthy balance?
Yeah, it's always when you see like the women before us, they fight it really hard with birth control and to make sure that like women can vote, and they're like that they also can have a job. So they have to be like, really in their masculine to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful for them, because without them we wouldn't be here. But now it's like we need to take it back, but we don't need to like go all the way in. A woman is not supposed to work. It has to be in a different way. And that's the whole thing I'm sensing with, and I'm so curious to experience that myself. What will happen if we do less and to trust more and to dive deeper into that like intuition? Many things will like, we would just co-create more with life. Yeah. So we don't need to like do it all on our own and fight for stuff, because we're like, I am having this whole spirit team with God and all the angels with me to make this stuff happen. And I think we need to tune in more with that.
And maybe that's why we need to slow down, just by what you just said, tune in more with that. How do we tune in more with that? By slowing down and creating space for that to happen.
And there we need support in, because that's what I'm sensing myself. I'm for years now on a spiritual path, but I need women like you, or to help me set that space to go there, you know? Because it's quite a thing to just also like create this ceremony space for yourself and to really show up in that. Because that's what I'm sensing now in day-to-day life. Like this is the first week, not even, that I'm getting a bit more space in my planning, but to make sure you are going to dive into that.
And would you see that as something that you schedule in? Is that how you're able to make it happen lately? Being a mother?
Yeah. And like I'm like waking up really early, because I really like that. So start with like a meditation. But for me, I'm sensing now that it's so easy to distract myself. To like, okay, maybe just... it would be handy to disload the dishwasher. Yeah. You know? And I was like, and I'm like, he's waking up already. Yeah. So I'm just finding out myself how I can really live this.
Commitment.
Yeah.
I think it's really comes down to also commitment. Because it's a lot easier to, I'll just take 10 times longer to make my tea this morning. I don't have any more time to meditate.
What a waste.
It is. Yeah. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I find whatever excuse to not go there.
But why? Because when you're there, it's the best.
It's the best.
You're like,
yes.
Gosh, I know everything right now. I just feel so connected and guided and loved and protected.
That's a fantastic question. I say that to myself constantly. Why do I not meditate even like twice a day? Because I don't have the commitment of children or anything. So now that I don't, why don't I? There's many other reasons to not do, but I can. Why don't I do it? And I don't have an answer to that question yet. I think it's just, I was going to say lazy, but lazy is not even the word. No. It's just like we're so conditioned to find any other excuse, any other opportunity to distract ourselves with.
You have to work a little bit. It's the same with breath work though. Like every breath work session, I'm like, we're really going to do it. And then you start with this few first breaths. You're like, I hate this.
I'm still
why
here.
I'm
Why
here?
am I here?
Why I even paid for this to be here? Like all these thoughts. And then you go through it and then it's like, it's so nice. Yeah, so it's commitment. And I think also to know what to do. Because that's also what I'm a bit searching for. Like there's so many things. You have breath work or yoga or stretching or journaling or and sometimes I'm like, where to start, you know? But what's going to be my practice? Yeah.
And maybe that is, I think that because we're constantly changing, it's never going to be one thing.
No.
I think that the fact that everything is always evolving means that we need to catch up with different versions of ourselves on even an hourly basis. Because even if you were to say, right, I'm going to meditate twice a day, and in the morning I'll do this visualization of my future self, and in the evening I'm going to just do a sitting down and focusing on breath meditation. Yeah, that may work for the first day, but what if the second day you have an immense amount of rage inside? Maybe you want to do the stretch, or maybe you want to... So I think that if we give ourselves the possibility, and luckily we are rich enough to choose from the different modalities, then discover yourself through all the different ways.
Yeah.
Because rigidity is, again, masculinity. Let's flow with it. And I think that in not knowing, a lot can happen.
That's the thing, right? Gosh, but sometimes I hate it.
Oh.
It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. And in the discomfort, it's like that birthing process. It's the birthing pains. There's so much to learn in discomfort. So much to learn about oneself.
Yeah.
Whether it's because you're doing a pigeon pose in yoga and your hip is just trembling and screaming at you. Am I going to give up just because I'm feeling something? That's what I meant with the feminine. There's so much to it.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
It's really wild. Yeah. So do you feel like you're living your feminine the way you want to be?
More and more, definitely.
What are things for yourself that you're thinking like, I would like to embrace that more, or to more live it, embody it?
I think that follow your inner spark. So whether it's, you should look at my bathroom and you see 10,000 different lovely products that I love to just put on my face and my body. There are days that I just want to do that. Go and do it. And other days it's just sitting in a little bowl with a blanket around you and crying your eyes off. Because that's how you feel. But I think that my ways are just going with what's happening on that moment, that day, that split second.
Okay. And how are you doing that with your business?
Like to combine it, to make time for that?
I think
to incorporate.
Yeah, to incorporate it.
The feminine into the business aspect?
Yes.
Wow. That's where my dear coach comes in mind.
You told me he's very masculine, though.
Yeah. So this is where, like, even my head goes down and I'm just a bit like, ugh. Not that I'm ashamed about it, but I am definitely lacking the masculine aspect of my business at times. Although I go and I work, there are certain parts of me in business that's just like, you're way too much in the feminine. Because I just sit back and I've always just trusted and just let it happen. So I think that I'm definitely more in the feminine in business aspects. I need the kick up the ass. I need the masculine that says, come on, Saf, go and write a book or speak about it or create a program. I don't have that. I have been lucky enough to just, it sounds really spoiled of me, but to just, I worked to get to this point, but now it's like, oh, I trust that I will open up sometimes my schedule on a Monday morning. I have no idea what I'm doing that week. And then boom, 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 it all just happens.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's really beautiful that you have that. And then
you have to trust that though, eh? Not everybody can do it.
No. And
at times it can be terrifying. Like, oh,
Nothing.
I don't have any work this week.
Yeah.
But then out of the blue, boom. But I think also to trust the divine, to trust universe, that sometimes those weeks where you don't have any work are the weeks that you make the most of resting.
Yeah.
You make the most of just quiet.
I think we will be good partners if we can. I will give you a little bit of like creative work and all those, and I would love to just open my calendar. Oh, nothing this week. It's so exciting. That will be so good for me.
And yet there's probably friends of mine that if they heard what I just said, they'll be like, what? But she's always doing something. She's always busy.
Yeah.
But am I always busy with work as such? No. I can be busy, as I said, with the horses. I don't know where my hours go with the horses. I can be there for hours. And suddenly it's like, oh, where have I been? Or I can be busy just cooking.
But that's also really beautiful,
right?
Right?
It's so great.
I mean, that's what's wrong with that?
Yeah. No, I don't think that there...
I think if you have a business person looking into that, thinking, oh, there could be so much more for you, but maybe this is like what every person is searching for.
And at the same
amount
time...
of freedom it gives.
And at the same time, there's someone kicking my ass and a version of myself kicking myself and saying, gosh...
There's more for you.
If I would just really show up and really put the effort into my business that I really know that could go there, I would be rocking it. But...
And what is it then? What do you feel? What's that little voice inside you telling you, like, Saf, if you would do this... Like, what are those things? Is it writing a book or...
Maybe sort of voice, because there is a lot of wisdom in this is the inside.
I can tell, yeah.
So I sometimes think, shit, I could really like help so many more people than the people that I'm already helping. Yeah. If I was to just take it a little further and maybe push it a little bit more on social media or really like create a newsletter. I don't do any of that. Nothing. And even like my coach is like, "What? You're only posting about you riding your horse in sunshine." When if I started to push more of a program or different techniques of breath work or...
And what do you feel? Is it resistance? What do you feel if you think about creating more?
It's just like I have this really strong belief that whoever's meant to work with me will come and meet me on the path when they're meant to. But it's definitely being lazy at the same time. I really think I'm not a lazy person because I always get things done when they're meant to. But that's a really good question. I'm really thinking about that one actually. I think that there is also a bit of fear, for sure. What if I am fully seen? What if I do? Because before the resistance was... If I was to take people on a retreat, for example, and this is me being brutally honest, I've been doing this work for a long time now. I could easily do a retreat. I've tried many times, and not once it's happened, my own retreat.
Yeah.
And my subconscious fear and the little voice that's still there is like, what if one day you wake up and you're really having a meltdown and you don't want to show up? So those are the sort of the little voices. And yet I truly believe that the path that I'm on, whether it's teaching yoga or facilitating medicine or breath work, when I teach, I'm the number one student there. I'm the one that receives more than anybody in the room. It's like this automatic, beautiful medicine for myself, that the moments where I've been the worst or I've felt the worst, I've taught the best.
Yeah.
So I think it's ultimately a little bit of fear. It's just like fear of, well, my parents weren't really business people, so I never really grew up with a business sort of environment of someone going, yeah, go, go, go. Not at all. So I think that the business aspect is ugh. Well, I can even feel my physical body sort of like, what? So then I just go on trusting. But it's like, Saf, what if I could take this to the next level, which I am super capable of.
Yes.
And there's a part of me that dies to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you for sharing
that. Pleasure.
And it's really beautiful. And I'm so excited for you. I want to make a plan now.
This honestly...
there's nothing in the world that makes me more excited than this. That's so funny. Like, feeling... Because the way I see you, I wish you could see yourself through my eyes. You're really so powerful. And I've seen so many people in this... on this spiritual journey, also with Chiflor, of course, I speak with many experts, and you're really one of a kind. So you really not only deserve, but I really, we need you on that spot. That's the things that I'm so excited about. Like, some women need to step up their game, and others need to surrender more and see what happens. Yeah. And we're all just guiding each other home along that journey.
Something that, again, my dear coach said to me the other day, he said, Saf, you also need to give yourself permission to step up into the place where you want to go. It's like that give yourself permission to say, hey.
Yeah.
Because in my world, I'm like, I don't want to be like everyone else in that I'm selling something that's not uniquely me. So I haven't found a method yet to combine, or maybe I have and I just do it through the breathwork sessions, or maybe I'm just collecting more and more tools, because at the moment I'm studying more modalities, more different ways.
No, sorry, that's bullshit. You don't need to know more. You know so much. And that's the whole thing. I think it's all about presence. Some people can say everything is energy. You're like, ugh. And other people say everything is energy. You're like, fuck, that's true.
Yeah. So true. Wow.
So it doesn't matter from what are the words or the methods, or it's just you. And I think because you have this, it's even more beautiful. Because it makes you really pure. You're not out there to make a lot of money or to whatever. You're completely happy by this. I think the fear of maybe I think we're mostly scared of our own power.
Yes.
That there's so much that I can, am I ready for that?
Yeah.
And with that, the more you share, the more you show, the more people will have an opinion, or that's what I'm sensing. Where am I sometimes afraid of? I'm sharing some truth, and ooh, brace yourself, I want to hide and just delete my Instagram for a while. Or I'm just skipping that and showing nice, cute outfit videos because people like it. Yeah. I actually just want to talk about Jesus and Maria Magdalene and about COVID and about the government fucking us. And I have so much things in my head. But what's going to happen to me if I'm going to share about all the things that are in my head? And I think we're all so scared of that. But that's, I think, exactly what we need to do.
Definitely.
And I really No, I would love, if you ever need help with that, I would love to help you.
Oh, bless you.
Put the puzzle, because it's just a puzzle.
It's just pieces are here and there, and I'm like, oh yes, I know they're all there. There are many pieces too.
Yeah. True.
But I'm just what does that puzzle? Oh, maybe I don't want to build it just yet.
And how do you think about perfectionism? Is that something you feel?
Gosh, yes, 1000%. I think that the older I get, or the wiser, I don't even want to use the word older. Older sounds so well. But the more advanced in wisdom that the wiser I become, the less important it is.
Yeah.
It's just everything, even from if I bake cookies, they have to just be perfect.
Yeah.
Because if they're not perfect, then what? Then I'm a failure.
Yeah, crazy, right?
So yes, I was a synchronized swimmer, I'm a dressage rider. It's all about perfectionism, and it drives me bananas. And I think it's very soul-crushing. I think we're so hard on ourselves.
True.
It's like even the eating disorder itself.
Yeah.
When I get that perfect body, the man will appear. Yeah. And still, that's in my brain constantly. Oh, yeah. When I have perfect skin, or when
so annoying,
it's
right?
It's always there. And
yeah.
and I think as a society, it's just shoved into us. It's really shoved into us in so many ways that we have to, especially the women, we have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I'm speaking for the women, but I think that men don't have it easy either. Eh?
No. It's hard being a man now as well.
Oh my gosh. That's like a whole
But I think
chapter.
as women, it's like my nail is broken now, they're outgrown. You should fix your nails. You have to go to the hairdresser. Yeah. You want to go to Pilates. You also want to speak to God. You want to have a fit body. You want to have nice clothes. It's just such a maintenance we put up to ourselves. And on the other hand, that's the duality in that. There's also like a self-care aspect to it because I love it.
That's where I was just going to go. It's like, to what extent do we allow something to be a problem or not?
Yeah.
I love perfect looking nails.
Yeah, me too. I cannot bear with this, but it's just a lot to take care of all those little things, you know. That's like a job.
Yeah. And I think
and in your house, you want a tidy house, and every drawer you want to open is like, and it makes me so happy when I have it all sorted out. But it also creates like this constant doing of sorting stuff out. That's our like life mission, because the list is it doesn't ever end. No. There's by the time you get to the end of the list, you're like, oh, they're back again. That's always like, I'm always searching for that point when I'm like, I have everything done, but it's never there. Yeah. And it's so tiring to just run towards that point. And now, like after you got a baby, then like I look really good. I can tell. Like I also worked out for it, and it made me really happy. But then the noises in my head this morning, I was sitting like this and I was putting my belly. And I was like, gosh, what a loose skin. I'm like, that's so mean. I grew a baby who was like 4.3 kilos. A healthy baby. What do you expect me to like? That it's like you cannot see anything from it. It's like, but why? It's so not important, and in some way, it's that's also part of womanhood that we need to deal with all these like thoughts, and it's exhausting. And I feel like that there's this instant sadness of what we do to ourselves just because of that perfectionism. True. Or that desire for perfection, which we'll never get to. Never. No. How can we be perfectly imperfect? But yeah, it makes me sad because that was me for like 12 years and it still on goes. It's just maybe a little bit softer than what it used to be. Yeah. But I think that we can speak for 99% of women out there. And again, I can talk about the men, but we keep it at the women in this case. It's an interesting topic. It's a very saddening topic for me because I'm fully in it. For as much spiritual work that I've done on myself and my soul, and I've got to know myself, the perfectionism is still like, hello, I'm here. And I think the way to deal with it, like for example, I don't think my English is good enough to do this podcast in English. But I was like, I want to talk to Sapphire, and probably people are going to make fun about my English or whatever they're going to tell. But I'm going to do it anyway. I think your English is great. It's very good. Thank you. But that's like it's always... Yeah. So you need to just have a point. You're like, fuck it, then with really bad English. But I want to do it. And how beautiful that you have such a strong desire to share this. Yeah. That no matter what's in your way, you do it anyway. Yeah. And how can we be an example to more people to do that? So next time we're going to do it without makeup and greasy hair. Oh, that's a very interesting one. You have to show up all your uglies. Yeah. I honestly, that's why I believe I became a makeup artist. Really?
I was so obsessed with how I looked that I was just literally yearning to find the ways that I could keep up with beauty as much as I could, which is crazy if you think about it. The things that we do too.
Yeah, but there's also a beautiful side of being a makeup artist. That's the two parts of the coin. But you have to decide whether it's going like, it's really good to look at your food and what you're eating, but if you're going to it, and it's really easy to fall into that pattern.
I think that, is this read from a book perhaps? When you love yourself enough, you'll know when to stop. Then my eyes roll back.
Yeah.
It's the combination between that softness of, hey, I'm about to get my period and I'm just jumping off the walls. I can have 20 more carrots with hummus, but it's just not going to hit the point. Because that happens to me all the time. I just won't stop. I have the whole bag of carrots and the celery and that. But if I was to have half a croissant, well, I don't think that would ever happen, the whole croissant, of course, I would be so perfect. And that I've had phases like that. It would just be so great. I have the but then I have the risk of the day after, oh, I just had that one croissant, the same as today. And then it's like 2 croissants and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
So I think awareness, and I think it's discipline to say no. And then I think it's just also that self-love to say, why, like in my case, I'm not doing the sugar because I suffer from inflammation and then my body starts to feel really bad and it just doesn't feel good on my system.
No.
So I'm loving myself enough to hold myself in the discomfort, I hope it won't last much longer, and say, hey, this is tough now, but in the next few days, there's going to be this incredible, not only that pride within oneself that's like, wow, I did it, you know, I'm rocking this and I feel great, but the physical body is also feeling fantastic. So then it's like even better. But how to find the miracle balance? Maybe we're in this life to discover that. Maybe that's what we're here for, Jessie. to discover it.
I'm happy to have you along on this ride.
Yes. And I'll hold your hand. You can always call me. I had some almond milk. Yes. It's okay, Jessie.
Oh, gosh.
As long as it's almond milk and not oat milk. Oh, there we go on. Even more.
True. No, call me when you find that balance, okay? Tell me how you did
my
it.
life mission. I chose to be Libra.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. I really enjoyed it.
Absolute pleasure. As I said, I love talking, and especially in this environment. So thank you.
You're so welcome, and I cannot wait to join you on all the beautiful things you're gonna do and doing. So if people wanna like visit you or have breathwork session or whatever, I just put stuff in the show notes. If you send it to me, then I can share it.
Yeah. Mostly it's my Instagram where you'll see me riding a horse almost every day. But I promise to be more productive in that sense. I also have a website. I do have one. And I travel around a lot. So I do pop into cities every so often to offer sessions. But yeah, I'll share all of that with you. And thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. Jessie, sweetie.
Thank you. It was so fun. I really enjoyed it.